I think that an idea that I've talked about in other episodes for other topics might lend itself to this idea of not waiting until you're done with your book, then stepping back and then thinking, okay, now's the time for marketing. And as you were talking, what I was picturing is your manuscript, let's say you're writing a fiction book, and then two other documents that you have up in the background. One would be thoughts about marketing content, and one would be thoughts about marketing strategy. And so I've talked about this in the past with regard to writing a book description. And this applies not just if you're a new author, but even if you're an old author, that writing the back cover text for a book is really painful for me anyway,
Yes,
and for many other
indeed.
fiction authors. And I was talking about this, I think it was with Brian Meeks when we did an episode about writing book descriptions. And we both agreed that it's almost a better idea to write your book description before you've written a book, because it keeps you from getting into this. Now I'm going to tell you a little microcosm of the plot, which I think a lot of people fall into for book descriptions. And it's more that very early on, you might be in a place where you're saying, I really want to write a book that explores family dynamics in the case of an inheritance. And so capture that somewhere, because that would be great fodder for the content of some marketing, i.e. your back cover text. And then the other way I've used this kind of while I'm writing is that all my Ankeneer suspense novels have a kind of one design element that's the central image. And for most of the time, I'll get to the end and I'll think, oh my God, what should I tell my book cover designer I want as the central image? But if I'm thinking about it while I'm writing, I can say, oh, you know what would be really cool would be a such and such. But then I'm also thinking, the story about your first book made me think that there's also the strategy thing that you should have as your third open document in the background, which is, why am I doing this? And that's the goal you want to reach. You were saying you wanted to launch at a certain time because of a date that was significant, and you already knew the audience of people. If you keep those as little separate background documents, it provides a nice way to capture that. So it's not just this monumental thing you have to think about when you're done writing.